So moving loved ones into a retirement home, be it parents or grandparents, many financial issues to be concerned with. But we have expert help here with Renee Rebello, and this is actually something that you're dealing with on a personal and professional level right now.
Yes, Bob. Thanks for having me again. And right now, a lot of people are coming to me with their parents or their grandparents looking to downsize from their home and potentially look at retirement living. So this has also been something that I'm personally going through. So I do have grandparents. My father passed away young, and so I am now what's called the sandwich generation.
Right.
So those are anyone who are in their 40s and 50s and having to deal with teenage children that are still emotionally and financially dependent on you. And now I have grandparents that are dependent on me.
And you're juggling both.
I am. Like many other people that are doing the same. So what it's done is not only have I also looked at that for many years from a professional level, but now I'm kind of seeing it from a personal level and seeing things from the other side. So it's one thing to give advice and know what you're supposed to say, but it's the other thing when you have an emotional tie to it too.
Right. Now up front, just retirement living and getting them into a retirement home, there's huge costs involved, and how to finance that.
Yeah, so a lot of people will look at trying to keep people in their home for as long as possible, but finances sometimes become a problem. And you have to rely on your family, or hopefully they have savings that they can rely on to pay for this. And what happens next is potentially they may end up in a home. It just does happen.
And you have to look at selling the house.
And you have to look at selling the house. So the proceeds from the house, as long as they have equity, and most of that generation does, because they are what's called cash flow poor and asset rich.
Right.
So once they sell the house, they get a chunk of money. So once they've decided on a retirement home that actually has space and is up to their standards of where they would potentially like to be, and maybe culturally they want to make sure that they're in a place that they have other people that speak that other language. So there's a lot of things to look at when choosing a home. But when they receive that lump sum of money, then what do they do with it? And a lot of times power of attorneys are coming to me and saying, Renee, I don't know what to do with the money. I hope I'm doing the right thing. I just, there's an emotional attachment.
Well, and that's an important point too in choosing the right power of attorney.
Yes, it is important to choose the right power of attorney. So certain situations, sometimes the power of attorney is from 20 years ago.
Right.
And that person's now 20 years older and trying to make decisions for you. And the power of attorney...
You maybe don't want the job.
You may not want the job. It's a big job, right? There's a lot of running around, a lot of decisions. You're responsible. You're basically taking on that person's life.
Yeah, so you need someone committed and available to do it.
And capable.
And capable,
Yes. And it doesn't have to be the same person for health as financial. You can have two different people. So, you could have one person for financial and one person for health. It doesn't have to be the same person.
Good point.
Yes. So with the funds that come from the sale of the home, either the power of attorney or the retirement person will be investing those funds. And a lot of times I'll recommend segregated funds. And segregated funds are the insurance industry's version of investments that come with death benefit guarantees and bypass the estate if death occurs.
So this is actually taking these assets and protecting them.
Correct. And allows it to bypass the will and the estate and bypass any estate administration taxes if properly
which can be
placed.
Significant.
It can be very significant if you're talking about a house. Even in our area, most houses are between $400,000 and $800,000. So you're talking about a lump sum of money that now needs to pay anywhere between $3,000 and $7,000 a month for a retirement home. It needs to be invested properly. If death should occur, you want it to transition to your heirs the most tax efficient way. So there's a lot of things in the planning when you are transitioning a senior person.
Yeah, well, you're a good person to talk to about that, and we're going to connect your website at CHCH.com.
Perfect.
As we mentioned, because it's something you're dealing with, and you deal with it with your clients as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, Renee Rebello.